And first of all, she comes in, she goes, okay, we're going to give you some morphine. I'm like, oh, okay. And they shot that in my veins, and I was just like, about 2 minutes later, I'm like, oh, my goodness. Anyhow, so I get on they take me back to the CAT scan about what time? 5. About 5, I get to the CAT scan, come back to the room. We watched the full 2 hours of Jurassic Park on the TV, watched the rerun of Law and Order, watched another Law and Order or something. And I'm like, what is going on? And the nurse said, what are you doing? The nurse said, we're waiting on somebody to read your CAT scan. I'm like, oh, okay. She said, nobody's here. We had to send it to Springfield. I'm like, the money you make, you don't have a radiologist like on hand. You can't afford to pay somebody to be here. Moral of the story is we sat in that room for 4.5 hours waiting on someone to just read the CAT scan.
They couldn't, I mean, if I'm not bad mistaken, like 4 of the last 5 years, this entire government has run from people sitting in front of web cameras. They couldn't have held yours up in front of a web camera, in front of a Zoom meeting, and let somebody look at it over the interwebs.
Do they not have Dropbox or something like the rest of us?
The waiting room's full of people, sweating and in wheelchairs. Meanwhile, Tina and I was just in a room watching TV for 4.5 hours. I'm like,
I said, I wish they had like a post-waiting room, or tell us, we'll call you.
Yeah.
Because, he was in pain, but
I wasn't dying.
We didn't think he was dying or anything like that. So he could have gone to another room and let one of those people have a bed. You know, I mean, of course, we're always worried about other people, but
4.5 hours just waiting on somebody to read the chart. And then finally.
Meanwhile
what?
Our Jeremiah Eugenio, one of our dancers, texts me and he says, hey, are y'all at the ER? And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, yeah, I am too. And I'm like, wait, why are you at the ER? And he goes, oh, I got a horse landed on me.
A horse fell on me at Dixie.
Don't worry, I'm okay. I said, well, where are you? So I went over to his room, saw him for a minute.
We're just visiting.
Florence Nightingale Cooper here, just Tina just going back and forth all over the hospital.
So wait. Can we come back to the fact that in Branson you can be injured on a job by having a horse fall on you?
I know.
Yeah, this is America.
You need a new job.
Yeah. So I walked over there, and he said he was doing one of the races at Dixie, and the horse.
Have you seen the video? I haven't.
Yeah, I saw it.
Okay.
And the horse's leg fell out from underneath him, but the horse, because the horse fell, and when it got up, though, it was so calm getting up. Thank God, because then Jeremiah didn't have as much of an injury.
But his pants were hung on the shoehorn of the saddle.
Yeah.
So when the horse came up, he's hanging there upside down because his pants were stuck around the shoehorn.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
But then when they let go, the entire crotch of his pants was ripped open, and so he was flapping in the wind as he ran off.
I don't know if you can say crotch on the radio.
I mean, you can. Well,
okay.
But I don't know.
Get letters.
We probably strongly worded emails. We probably should talk about what was flopping in the wind. Like you said, the crotch of his pants ripped open, and then he was flopping in the wind. So the pants were flopping.
The fabric.
The fabric was flopping in the wind.
That's a good thing to clear up, Josh.
I think so as well.
No, for sure.
Details are important.
Family friendly sign.
But nothing was happening that night. There was no swelling. There was no purple. There was nothing.
No purple.
No injury on his foot. Like he didn't, it just looked like it was. So they, he was like,
they were concerned about his foot.
Yeah, it was his foot that the horse landed on.
Yeah.
So poor Bullfrog can't jump. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
That's right. Bullfrog can't jump.
Yeah, so he got in at 7:30 and was released by 9:30.
Yeah.
Hold on, wait a minute.
And then they came over to our room and hung out with us for a few minutes.
So Clay had BG indigestion and stayed for 4.5 hours.
No, I stayed for 8 hours.
For 8 hours,
Yeah.
and Bullfrog had a horse fall on him, and he was in and out just like that.
That's correct,
Yeah.
Josh.
Nice.
You just made my whole point.
In 40 seconds.
I burp up 2-day-old asparagus, and it got a little poop in my colon, and I'm there for 8 hours.
Yep.
A horse falls on him, he's in and out in 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but in all honesty, we think you just had a muscle strain.
Well, yeah, because it still hurts. So, anyhow, my organs were good for all you people that are concerned.
His organs.
My organs are good. My B3, my ham, all that stuff is good. But I did have the colon was a little something, but that was unrelated. That just, and I told her, I said, I told you I could have been full of it. And she said, well, anyhow. So I left there.